Good morning. It's Torte de Lini. Yeah, for a good while this patch, we didn't see a lot of sniper picks, honestly, in a meta where everyone is kind of a gap closer like Storm Spirit or Puck or Sven, not so much now, but Faces Void, etc. It just didn't make, honestly, a lot of sense for a hero that didn't want to get near him so he can safely output his damage without repercussions. But recently we've been seeing kind of a resurgence of sniper, you're about to see now here, that I thought was honestly just a meme, but it turns out it's not only legit, but it's making kind of decent waves at AK and MMR. It's this Scepter into Khanda sniper, and that kind of means that sniper going all in with his assassinate and shrapnel. You can kind of see here, he's always playing kind of on the outer edge, waiting for his ultimate to come up, and then when he's got it, just fires away. And it's definitely pretty interesting. If we check Dota 2 Pro Tracker, we can also see that it's not just a meme or something that players are just doing for fun. It's got legitimate application to it, and I think that's something we should talk about. Previously when it came to sniper, he was built like your typical carry, has a pos 2, Mask of Madness, Maelstrom, Dragonlance. The build mostly revolved around high auto physical attack, damage output that hit hard from the mid game once you secured your laning stage. And the reason why sniper is a mid laner is because he's got such great laning stage capabilities. Combined with take aim, sniper players would kind of just jump into a gank after someone initiated to then finish the enemy off with kind of incredible attack speed and mixed damage from the headshot physical damage, as well as the chain lightning magic damage from the Maelstrom. I would say it mostly worked, but basically meant that you couldn't let anyone kind of near you, and you needed to spend gold on items like Hurricane Pike or even an Ag Shard as a way to kind of ensure that if any enemies did jump you, say like a Storm Spear or a Spear Breaker or even a Bat Rider, that you had the appropriate escape mechanisms to distance yourself from continuing to allow you to continue your output. Even for a time, we even saw, I think Thompson was pretty popular in doing it. We saw snipers rush Disperser as if someone jumped you. You can then just dispel yourself and slow the enemy with just one click. Unfortunately, since they increased the cost for Disperser, the item has kind of gone away, and so did sniper for a good while. Except for now, look at this jump here. This is a little scary for him. I think he's pretty much dead. But you can see, like, even here, when he gets jumped, he's tanky enough to actually survive long enough to maybe survive or at least do enough damage. I mean, that Ursa jumped. You'd think it'd be an easy kill for him, but he ended up dying for it. Sniper's laning stage also revolves around headshot and take aim with 2 Wraith Bands, and that pretty much meant that he secured almost every single creep in the laning stage, and he starved his opponent out with a class, an A class physical damage, while also harassing with headshot if the enemy got too close to the wave. It also made reaching sniper almost impossible without either regular rotations from the side lanes. But even then, with good lane management, it meant sniper was always near the tower and relatively safe. That was the old version of sniper. Let's talk about the new version. Well, nowadays sniper is back, but as a caster. See, in 7.34, they changed sniper's assassinate in 2 very important ways. One, they made it so if you actually kill an enemy with it, it resets assassinate, so you can use it again. And then 2, assassinate once it hits the enemy once with a physical attack, and if you activate take aim, you deal headshot bonus damage with that physical attack. These 2 things combined have really elevated the damage output of assassinate. On top of that, I think it's 7.35. If we take a look here, they also increased the value of Khanda with its empower spell-based damage from 100 to 150. That's in 7.35, and that's kind of when we start seeing a lot of sniper as a mid-laning caster. Pretty interesting that that's pretty much all it needs. It's a dormant value until something like Khanda getting buffed brings out this new version of sniper. And it's also a little bit of a consequence of the meta and the expectations of what mid lane are supposed to do in this meta. So the logic behind this build that we're seeing now is twofold. One, you have a hero with an ultimate ability that deals instant nuking magic damage to an enemy. And 2, you want a hero that can initiate and kind of stop jumpy enemies from afar, so sniper team can then kind of finish them off or chain stun them. It's no different than running with a Dragon Knight in the mid game and relying on his Blink Dragon Tail stun combo to initiate onto enemies. Except with sniper, you can do it from afar and have a strong nuke damage with a low cooldown. And what's great is that if you kill the enemy with it, you get the ability again to be used on someone else, and you keep that momentum ball rolling. Essentially, instead of playing sniper with kind of a gradual buildup of damage and output like Dragonlance and Maelstrom that is susceptible to getting jumped and killed, especially when facing a very specialized draft, you have a sniper who can kind of undercut other mid laners like Leshrac or Puck, and he's honestly much more tanky if he does get jumped, which we saw in that previous gank from against Sniper Ursa. And his, the downside is that his physical damage output is significantly lower, but with Shrapnel and Assassinate at such a low cooldown, it's nothing really to sneeze at. Essentially, you're kind of, basically the logic is instead of you playing from the low end to eventually being a strong damage dealer, you're front-ending all your damage early on with your nuke to establish a lead and hopefully end the game well into the mid game, rather than relying on your eventual build-up for a 6-slot sniper that can hopefully end the game towards the late game, assuming no one can jump him. Which in this meta, unfortunately, a lot of popular mid laners like Storm, Puck, Pangolier, or even Ember Spirit can easily jump on this kind of sniper. The important thing really to understand though is that your timing to get Ag Scepter comes pretty early, right? I think it's Dragonlance into Ag Scepter, which is around 15, 16, 18 minutes maximum. Honestly, the earlier you get it, the more successful you'll be at netting kills with your proactive ganking lineup. If you get the Ag Scepter and you kind of sit on your ass with it, well, you're sabotaging yourself, and you can't just turn around and start building items like your physical carry. You need kills with the Ag Scepter to make it worthwhile and to help bridge you over into your next item, which is Khanda. So how do you play this Sniper Ag Scepter build? Well, basically your laning stage is 2 points in headshot with 1 take aim, so that then allows you to max out Shrapnel uninterrupted to then top it off with Assassinate. Watch this catch. This is kind of proving our point in terms of what's really interesting about Sniper Assassinate Ag Scepter build. See here, the Puck would be difficult to catch, but you just Glipnir with the Assassinate means quick to finish off, really nice. The Shrapnel works great for a sniper because it allows you to kind of deal with stacked jungle camps every time you shove the mid lane, and that'll accelerate your farm to get your Ag Scepter at a decent time. With the Ag Scepter, you're going to initiate and set up kills with your Assassinate before building up towards a Khanda, which gives you a chance of crit with your Assassinate's free physical attack, bump with take aims, guaranteed headshot, and the extra damage you get from Phylactery and power spell based damage, and 75% of your attack damage dealt. So really just hitting a mid-game timing of massive damage with a stun hold that's, I wouldn't say near instant, but has a small travel time. That's a great Assassinate right there. And then from there, you just create a snowball of damage and output to help lead your team into a mid-late game opportunity of map control and advantage in terms of farming. What's important to understand is that Sniper can still build the Maelstrom Dragonlance build and start wailing on enemies with his take aim, headshot, and auto attack. But this alternative build that I'm talking about is a nice response to playing versus a lot of gap closing heroes, especially those who are going to be jumping on you a lot. And essentially, this kind of plays Sniper more as an initiating magic caster than a kind of a last to go in physical attacker. As of right now, honestly, the position 1 safe laner and the position 3 off laner are really the heroes focused on carrying the team, whereas let's say mid laners like Sniper, or I like playing Zeus a lot, they're more about making plays early and securing a mid lane lead for the team. Really honestly, for mid lane, when it comes to winning your lane, the goal is either you win your lane by making it such a detriment for your enemy team that they don't get any farm, meaning they don't get any secured experience or gold, so their item timers are very late for their first items, like let's say Puck and Witchblade, or you as the mid laner want to secure as much farm as possible so that you can hit your first power spike timing. So like a Pangolier with Diffusal Blade, that's a power spike timing where once you get that Diffusal Blade, you're making plays across the board to ensure that your team has the momentum to secure all 3 tier 1 towers, and then also control the enemy jungle, so to speak. So heroes like Puck, Pango, and now Sniper use their early game item timings of Witchblade, Diffusal Blade, just talked about that, or Ag Scepter to start kind of undercutting your opponent's momentum and creating your own. It's no different than how we're seeing, let's say, Leshrac opt for max Diabolic Edict now to then push down all the towers in the game to give map control to you and your allies. In short, the reason we're seeing Sniper with Ag Scepter as a viable option is not only the meta kind of dictating the responsibility to be proactive, from the early 10 minutes of the game, but also because gap closing heroes are especially prevalent this patch and this meta. Sniper has always had good secure laning capabilities, which gives them the gold experience to jump towards a big item, whether it was a disperser back then or Scepter now. The only difference now is that Sniper is expected to set up and kill with his assassinate early on in a match rather than kind of build up as a traditional right clicker, which is more relegated to the pos 3 offlaner, obviously alongside with the position 1 carry. So that's essentially what's going on with Sniper. Really interesting, cool little lesson about a unique change to a hero. If you like this sort of stuff, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys actually tried this build and what you think about it. Thanks, and have a good morning.